Welcome to episode 9 of the Good Grief Believer podcast. My guest, Julie Sipe, spoke to me on what turned out to be the anniversary of her marriage to Joe Sipe, her husband of 50 years, who she sadly lost after his battle with Alzheimer's disease. We also happened to record this episode with a lively dog and a Gonzaga basketball game playing in the background, so I apologize in advance that there may be some times when those sounds find their way into our conversation. But maybe what is really appropriate about the happy, normal background noises is the evidence that Julie is re-engaged in a life of meaning, purpose, and joy, what she calls a synonym for grace. Julie is a joyful person. She's fun and interesting. I met her when I was invited to join a hiking group, and we instantly clicked. Julie is extremely involved with her kids and grandkids. She taught school for many years and even spent a summer at Oxford studying Shakespeare. During our hikes, she taught us European history and philosophy. Several of us in our hiking group met for lunch a few weeks ago to celebrate Julie's 80th birthday. The person she is today is one who is determined to live her life as joyfully as she can. This is something that would have seemed impossible to her or to anyone experiencing profound loss and grief immediately after she lost her husband. I remember after my husband passed away, how important it was for me to be able to see through Julie's example that there was hope for me too, that I would not have to feel as awful as I did in that moment, that perhaps I would someday again feel like a normal, functional person. During our discussion, Julie focused a lot on the habits that she and Joe had cultivated together throughout their relationship that had had a profound impact on the joy experienced together, as well as her ability to cope with her grief after he passed. If you want to know the secrets to a joyful life, I think she's articulated it very well. What she calls the moral of the story has to do with habits made and commitments kept that not only get us through hard times, but function like deposits made into the bank account from which to withdraw joy. I don't want to paint a picture here that Julie is someone who only speaks of sunshine and rainbows. She is extremely grounded, an authentic and honest person. She has experienced real heartache and pain in her life, but her sense of hopefulness is just as authentic, and with the benefit of her lifetime of study and practicum, hers is a voice I trust. I am admittedly still seeking the kind of profound joy of which she is speaking, but in the meantime, I continue to follow Julie's counsel to get up and keep on keeping on. This is a concept very much like the biblical story from which I've drawn a comparison to my experience with grief. The story of 10 maidens awaiting an important guest at night with their oil lamps being the only source of light is found in Matthew 25. And although there are plenty of interpretations for it, I have come to equate that story with the reservoir of faith that prepared me for my own night of darkness and grief. Isolation, Julie says, is the ultimate punishment. Loss becomes gratefulness in time through certain enduring principles, and in her experience, from great grief, the passage into joy may be more profound than you can imagine. Julie was able to shine a light into my dark, isolating grief, and that made a huge impact on my ability to grieve well. I hope that we can all try to shine a little bit of light into the lives of one another, choosing to believe that grieving well is possible, collecting drops of spiritual oil for our lamps, and practicing extraordinary compassion toward ourselves and others.